we've got a team that just threw the ball for 4,000 yards and a first-round draft pick at quarterback and some of the best skill players I've ever seen outside. But we couldn't run the ball. So what kind of challenge does that present for you to walk in and go, okay, we're 9-4, we're rolling, we've got great recruits and great personnel everywhere. Now, if you can instill that Andre Gurode mentality into the guys up front, how good do you think we can be, bro? Because I think we can be real good.
Well, what I would say is that as an offensive line, one of the things that you absolutely love to do is run the ball. And what we've been doing in developing the mindset with these guys, with Coach Gunner, Coach Grant, George, myself, we've been working on developing that mindset because we know for a fact that the games are going to be different this year. Now you're going to depend on what we do up front on the offensive side and defensive side. So we have to work to create an atmosphere where it's iron sharpening iron. Let's create situations where you got to fight and get yourself out. Let's pull together because once the season starts in September, it's us against everybody. And so we're trying to work to get the guys' mindset and understanding of how to approach the game, how to practice, how to be a pro and take it to the next level on the offensive line.
And Jordan Seaton, you've been around some great players in your past, obviously with the Cowboys and your illustrious pro career. But talk about Jordan Seaton, man. I watched that kid develop and play going in now his sophomore year and really turning into a man. Just elaborate on Big Man and how good he looks and the leadership that you see from him out there on the field.
He's definitely someone who loves the game of football. He loves getting better. He loves to challenge himself. He loves looking at different things that he can do to improve his game. And so from the onset of meeting the young man, we've talked about areas that he needs to improve, how I looked at it, how he sees it. And he's one of the first guys in the building. He's also one of the guys that he's going to do the extra work by himself. And pull everybody else along with him when we walk off the field. So he's always looking for another challenge and something to do better.
And I know you walked in and went straight in the film room because I just know you. Watching that group last year, I thought they did a lot of really good things given the opportunity to run the football. With so many of them coming back and the competition that brews in the room, what's the one thing you want to see out of that group just as you push forward into winter conditioning and spring ball?
You know what? I'm going to make it real simple. The one thing we want to see out of people, we want to see people fight. We want to see you. We want to see you strain. We want to see you in situations. We want to see you run off the ball. We want to see you bang your head on the goalpost. We want to see physical play, and that's what we're trying to demand out of the guys.
And look, it's one thing to hear it from somebody, but I want people to understand no one played more physical than 6'5". I remember when I was a sophomore, I was playing defensive end. We're doing inside run. Bates stepped down. I went straight up the field like a dumbass. Dre pulled and hit me in the ear hole and like, whop, and just kind of laid on me. And I was like, ugh. I'll tell you, I never not read my key again. I was reading that key like it was Braille, dog. So physical football play is something that is bred in Boulder. Bailey, I don't want to do all the talking, so I know you got a question or two, so get in there with Dre.
Oh, absolutely. I want to ask you more about the run game. Colorado hired another Hall of Famer, Marshall Faulk, as the running back coach. What do you think? What are the impact you think it'll have on that running back room and then the running game in general? Go ahead.
I will tell you this: the first thing that Marshall Faulk wanted to do, and I call him Mr. Faulk. I don't even call him Marshall. I just call him Mr. Faulk. Just give him all respect from the beginning. Absolutely. Well, the first thing he said to me was, "Hey, Andre, does the offensive line and running backs meet together? We're going to figure out a way so that everybody's on the same page. We're going to get the group together because we need to run the ball better." And that was his first statement when he walked in. So I think Marshall brings a level of experience, a level of professionalism to the game, and I think it's going to be beneficial for all the running backs.
When you sit in that meeting room, I mean, that big grand table in the big meeting room, and everyone's in there, and Coach Prime's at the head of it, do you just look around the room and you're like, damn, we got dudes on this coaching staff. We could put together a 9-on-7 team right damn now.
I will tell you that Coach Prime has assembled the right group of men that will lead and develop the players on the field, and he expects the most out of them. So he's constantly pushing on us to improve and do better and get guys ready. And so you got to rise to the occasion. So it's pretty intense, but it's also rewarding because it's pushing everybody to be better.
All right, so I wanted to get your opinion on this. Shedeur Sanders, obviously, there's a lot of different news on him out there. You got to watch as a fan, just like we did the last 2 years, and him come in and resurrect our program and get us back to 9-4 last year, playing in the Alamo Bowl. Very, very good, respectable season. Travis wins the Heisman, obviously a monumental year in the history of Colorado football. What's your opinion of Shedeur just as a player, number one? And then number two, why so much hate and discontent towards him?
When you talk about the things that you have done to the world, certain people take that as offensive. They want you to be able to move throughout whatever you do and let your actions speak. Well, Shedeur has let his actions speak for himself, but he's also told people what he's done. He's very confident in what he's done. We can look at the track record of what he's done. He's not bragging on himself. He's actually telling you what he's done. He handles business. He's on time. He tries to structure everything. He's a very business savvy young man and tries to organize and do things that will make him better. So the knock against him, I feel like, is a little unfair, especially since you should take time to get to know the guy. Don't make a general assumption about the guy before every meeting, sitting down with him, finding out how he breaks down film, finding out what he brings to practice and what he wants to do, finding out that this guy really is a winner. And because he's a winner, you probably want him on your team.
So where would you just, if you're playing GM right now, where would you take Shedeur in that top 10 picks?
If I'm a GM and I got a pick in the top of the round, and I need a quarterback, why would I look past him?
Yeah, and that's what we don't understand either. The anonymous, I mean, you had to deal with this obviously at the combine and in your career. The anonymous coach and scout that comes out and criticizes a player, especially a quarterback. I'm not a big fan of the anonymous quote. How do you feel about people that do things from an anonymous standpoint and have a big mouth?
It's like it would come off as, I have something to say, but I don't want you to know that I said it.
Yeah.
Then why would you say it in the first place? If you have something to say, then stand behind it and say that you said it. And then we can address the situation and like grown people and discuss it and resolve it. But don't say that you have something to say, but don't mention my name because I don't want to make anybody mad. It makes no sense.
Bailey?
Absolutely. And I wanted to ask you about another Colorado top prospect in the NFL, Travis Hunter. Obviously, he's a unicorn, phenomenal player. There's a lot of noise, people saying, oh, he can't play both ways. He can't play wide receiver and corner. How do you see him headed into the NFL, and how do you project him? And if there's a team that you think is good for him, do any thoughts?
If I were to project him, I would say that if he started on either side of the ball, there's a package that's going to be developed for him to play on the opposite side as well. So that's how you break that down. If he's an offensive player, you put a package together where he can play some defensive plays. If he's a defensive player and you draft him as that, you put a package together for him to play some offensive plays. So there's ways that athletes like that are dynamic and explosive to be used. You figure out how to do it. And the NFL is about winning games. So if I'm a coach and I draft Travis on defense or offense, I want him on the field at all times if he's a difference maker. And he's proven to be a difference maker. So you put a package together, get him on the field and let him play.
Dre, throughout your time in the NFL, who's the best defensive lineman you had to battle against routinely?
That's a great question, but I probably would say John Randall.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that was a pretty difficult game. Like fast, quick, strong. He's able to anticipate what you got to do short. Play with great leverage. It was a battle.
John Randall, man, that's one hell of a draw right there. Yeah, John Randall's bad man, first ballot Hall of Famer. All right, I love that answer. That's fantastic. Colorado offensive line coach Andre Gurode joining us here on 0 to 60. Couple more questions for Big Dre before we get him out of here on this Friday afternoon. Remember, go like and subscribe. The super chats and subs are open. We appreciate everybody in the comments. Anybody in the comments that have any good, relevant questions that aren't like you just, drooling on the microphone, we'd love to get a question or two for Coach Gurode. My last one here is pretty simple. Now, obviously, we do it on a 6-0, and we got a big football camp coming up here with Derek Wolf, the trench camp that will be filmed, and if coaches can't come to it, you'll get all the film on it. But we got some really good players in the room. Zane D'Souza, the big tight end from Loveland's coming in from 6-0 this year. He'll be there as a tight end for you guys, and I truly think that Zane at 6'7", like 260. Wait until you see this kid move. If he has stone hands, he would be an incredibly good right tackle, and I've been on his ass about this since the day he walked in. So it's kind of funny and also not. And then, you guys have offered Breck, Cool J, who was on the show Wednesday, and Deacon Schmidt up at Windsor. How important, because I know that we talked about the Colorado kids the other day, how important is it to keep, the top 2 or 3 Colorado-born guys, especially in the trench, at home, in your opinion?
Well, it's always been important for the University of Colorado to have a presence in the state of Colorado. And so you want to make it to where the top guys come to the University of Colorado. Same thing that they would do at the University of Texas. They're trying to make sure they get the top guys, and only the top guys get offered. So it becomes a draw for when you get to the school and you get there, it's some of the best athletes around. So I think that you keep that presence, you take the best guys in the area, the guys that you can develop, and they turn into amazing players. And that's what we're trying to do.
Absolutely.
Bailey, you got another question, or are we good?
Absolutely. Just one more question for me. As you guys just finished up winter workouts and you guys are headed into spring ball, what are some of the things you're looking forward to and your expectations for that?
I can tell you this, and it sounds very cliche. I'm ready to hear the sound of pads cracking. That's what I'm looking forward to. And so when I hear the sounds of pads cracking, that lets me know the spring is here. That's what I want to hear.
Absolutely.